Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to season 2 of the Amateur Podcast. This has taken far too long to get back into. Please ignore everybody outside. They're really loud this morning, if you can hear them on the recording. Hi, if you guys don't know me, my name is Bailey. I am the podcast host here on the Amateurish Podcast, and this podcast, the Amateurish Podcast, is talking all about ways to better your life and self-improvement and self-development, just because everybody needs a little guidance, and we're all a bunch of amateurs in this game called life. You only get one life, and that's how we're going to play it. So, as a fellow amateur myself, we're talking today about motivation. I had asked the question on my Instagram story, which is linked down in the show notes below, that I wanted some topics for season 2, and he brought up one of the most fascinating ones, and it really made me think as to why I thought this topic was so fascinating. And as a fellow amateur, I am no stranger to this topic whatsoever. Finding motivation, especially to work out or do things that you might not necessarily want to do but might be good for you in a normal setting, let alone a pandemic. So we were shooting the shit, and my friend had brought up to me that he was having a really hard time working out and finding the motivation to work out. So I decided, I was going to sit down, have a conversation with myself as to why I feel motivated sometimes and other times I don't, and what it would boil down to in the main topics of as to why motivation works the way it does. And for those of you who don't know or don't take any sort of psychology, I personally am a psychology major, and actually I'm graduating in a few weeks, so very excited. For those of you who don't know, a lot of what we find for motivation in our personal hierarchies and our personal principles, morals, and pleasure principles all surround ourselves with, typically in the neuroscience, from my understanding, is that we're running through a neural circuit in the back of our brains that runs through our entire brain of a pleasure principle. And basically, where you're going to find pleasure in certain things, you'll be more likely motivated to do them and seek out that reward. And other times when we don't find motivation, it's usually because there is not a pleasurable experience activated in our brains, and therefore we're not motivated to do it. So basically what I came down to when thinking about this and writing it down was that there are 3 main things that help me get motivated regularly. And this has been something that's been brought up a lot in the last few weeks for myself as I've been developing this episode. Timestamp of down below when I actually filmed this. I'm not sure when this will be going up, but basically everything that I found for motivation into why I do things, even when I don't have the pleasure principle activated in my brain or I don't find enjoyment, is I did these 3 steps repetitively over and over and over again, and they work. So I'm going to share them with you. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee real quick. Talk about pleasure. I literally just spilled this, not but 10 minutes ago before I started filming. It's a lot of fun. All right, so basically what I boiled down to when looking through my personal understanding of motivation, the pleasure principles, and what I thought pleasure and motivation should be about, I came up with this 3-step system of developing motivation where you can't find it, and also enhancing your skills in the way you do work with motivation and to get your shit done. So basically, it boiled down to the 3 Ps, and this is my system. I'm not sure that this has ever been invented, but I will gladly take name, and if you can find anybody else who says this, I will give them rights to this too, but I feel like I came up with this. Anyway, so basically there are the 3 Ps of the system for motivation: purge, prep, and party. Those are the 3-step tiers. So the first step, that makes no sense, I'm sorry, but it does to me. And it works for me, so I hope this, helps you. But so it's 3 steps of purge, party, and prep. And the first step, being purge, has a lot to do with purging negative things in your space that require you to do the motivation, negative emotions, and negative atmospheric vibes. So let's go into that a little further. My friend who's having a hard time with getting in workouts, if you're listening to this, I'm going to speak directly to you. And if you can find, as a listener who is not my friend and listening to this, if you can find any inspiration with it, use it on your own. But my friend who's having a hard time working out, you need to be able to purge these things. So the most important thing with working out, I think, is for me, I also have a hard time with finding the time. I have to force myself because I'm a workaholic to make the time to work out. So that means I have to purge away the things that are not necessarily a necessity that I would rank in my hierarchy of needs as a lower part on the totem pole, that aren't as important to me as working out is. So I purge away that time and I make time for working out. That's the first thing I do. My second big thing with requiring to work out is that I have to have a clean space and I have to have a space dedicated for working out. So I will purge away anything I have that's in my space. With a condo, there's not a whole lot of room here, but I try to make the best of it. So I have to purge away all the construction stuff I have going on, dishes, laundry, whatever, and make room that's dedicated for working out. And so I got to do that. And that's the second part of purging that I have to do myself. I will also do some research and get a curated playlist and that kind of stuff and get myself ready, but that's more part of, stage 2. I also go into motivations and workouts with purging away the negative emotions I feel about it. I tell myself that, okay, this may how I feel about my body, but while this may be how I feel about my body, I will take them, say that they stem from insecurities, and push them away because they're not real. And that's not how I'm perceived, and that's not how I want to perceive myself. So a lot of that comes from mind work, in my personal opinion. Purging the negative emotions that are attached to working out and even getting stuff done regularly, I purge it. I get rid of it. I say, I deserve more, and I do not accept this. This is not what I accept in my life. So I get rid of those and I purge those. The second step is to prep. And for, working out, for the example that we're using today, is I will, the night before, because I know I'm going to work out typically in the morning or in the mid-afternoon time range. I have yet to do so. I will probably do that after. That's why my hair is greasy and I look like this. So in order to prep ahead of time, I will pull out the clothes earlier or the night before, set them in a place that I can see it because it's a visual reminder that I need to work out. Place out my space and prep my space the night before or earlier in the day. Pull out my yoga mat, place things in the right way that they need to be, get my gallon water bottle and fill that up and put some, fruit or water or anything in it and get that stuff ready to go for whenever I use it later. I'll have my shoes, everything set up in a space. I will also prep the space that gives positive energy for that experience. And I will also prep videos that I'm going to be working with or prep a playlist to give myself the energy, aesthetic, and vibes, and to do that as well. So that's the second step, is prep. The third step, which sounds a little silly, especially when it's tied into workouts, but even more so, motivation in general, is party. And I think people forget this a lot, is that not all the things in life have to be so hard, draining, exhausting, and boring. And people really do forget that you need to live a little and party. So it could be something seriously as silly as like not going to the gym for a workout because that seems exhausting, but doing a workout at home. And you know what? Even better, that's better for you. That's great. Go the extra mile, make it fun. Do some Wii exercise sports if people even do that anymore. I have no idea. Do a Zumba class. Take one of those if you want to try that. Dance party. There's so many dance workouts on YouTube that really just get you motivated and enjoying. And there's so many for every different kind of person, every different kind of music you like. There's that kind of stuff. You need to bring in the party atmosphere, bring in the party emotions that come with it. Enjoy what you're doing a little bit. If you have to do the dishes, I hate dishes, for example. If you have to do the dishes, throw on some good music, throw on some TV. As long as you're getting your shit done, it doesn't have to be boring. So party a little. And that's pretty much it. That's motivation at my key 3 steps, and that's how I get my shit done without really hating it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm trying a new short format. This is, episode 1 of the season 2 of the Amateurish Podcast. So if you guys could like, review, subscribe, every platform that you're on or listening to, please just let me know how you're enjoying the new season. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks so much for listening, watching, wherever you're at on this platform. And I will talk to you guys next time. Later, amateurs.